Hey everyone, me Kevin here with a late night show update on the next rounds of stimulus, what Donald Trump just told us about stimulus, and other news. By the way, we're about to break 800,000 subscribers, so if you have not yet, consider hitting that red subscribe button and turning it gray. And remember that coupon code for the amazing programs, link down below, does expire on Monday. All right, Donald Trump today, according to the White House administration officials, said that Donald Trump is willing to sign a $1.3 trillion coronavirus relief package. This is interesting because it's up from the $1 trillion proposal that Republicans put forth, and it's way more than the $500 billion skinny or skeleton proposal that apparently Republicans are working on right now. Honestly, this doesn't show a lot of good unity. Why is it while Congress is working on a $500 billion bill, the boss walks in and goes, oh, yeah, I'm ready for that $1.3 trillion bill. I'm ready for it. Just bring it to my table. It's like, how about a little bit more cohesion in the Republican Party? All right. Anyway, this $1.3 trillion figure is somewhat better news, obviously, than $1 trillion or worse, $500 billion. But it is substantially below the $2 trillion that Donald Trump was open to signing just 2 months ago. Remember, 2 months ago, Donald Trump was open to a $2 trillion package. That has now been reduced to $1.3 trillion. Still, way more than the rest of his party seems interested in passing right now. It is also about $900 billion below the $2.2 trillion package that Nancy Pelosi and Democrats are calling for. Reuters, by the way, broke this story, and they said that this is a figure that, quote, has been offered in private. So, as is usual, when things get offered in private in the White House, well, they leak out everywhere. Furthermore, Mark Meadows also stated that he has had much more progress this week with moderate and progressive Democrats, and that's possibly leading Donald Trump to signal his larger package to maybe pre-negotiate, essentially, by bringing Democrats down with Meadows and signaling to Republicans that they should come up. So bottom line here, Trump wants a larger package. 1.3 trillion is also much more than the slap in the face of a skinny bill that we keep hearing about. So hopefully that's what we end up seeing, or something in that direction. And we do know, by the way, that Donald Trump is the kind of person who would like to signal, oh yes, let's do $1.3 trillion, while it's being talked about privately, to take credit for that if it ends up happening. So I like it when Donald Trump sends these signals. On one hand, well, for his own purposes, he's trying to take credit for it. But on the other hand, it might kind of be giving us a little bit of a look into the future. And again, way better than the other crap that we've been seeing. Now, remember yesterday, we also saw the Federal Reserve signal that interest rates will probably remain low, not just through 2023, but realistically for the next 5+ years. This would make it substantially cheaper for the government to borrow debt over the next 5 to 10 years, and the government, as economists recommend, should take advantage of this inexpensive debt. On the payroll tax cut, most of us already know that the payroll tax cut is a dud. We've talked about that ad nauseum already. However, today, the Treasury Department announced that it is officially starting the payroll tax cut deferral 4 days sooner than expected. That's it. That's all they did, is they're moving the day for this imaginary tax up 4 days. Remember, this payroll tax holiday technically saves you about $1,500 if you make around $75,000 just for the rest of 2020. So it's kind of like another stimulus check, but because it's a deferral, you have to pay it back the first 4 months of 2021. So this is leading some people to call this an illusionary tax cut right before the election that you have to give back later. Not surprisingly, the National Council of Chain Restaurants and the Chamber of Commerce said that it would be unfair to impose future taxes on employees, and therefore many businesses are just refusing to eliminate the payroll tax cut from the get-go. There have also been no new recommendations from the Trump administration on forgiving this money, obviously because they have to rely on Congress to forgive that money. MGM Resorts laid off 18,000 furloughed workers, making permanent the 1/4 reduction of the company's workforce. American Airlines is cutting 19,000 workers by October 1st, and Delta is furloughing 1,941 pilots. On spending barely ticked up in July compared to last July. That's not good news, since this July we still had unemployment benefits. August's unemployment data is expected to come out September 4th, which is next week today. Next Friday also marks the beginning of Labor Day weekend already, and it marks the end of Congress's recess. Congress gets back to work on September 8th, supposedly, unless they take another recess. This morning, Marco Rubio was optimistic that we might see a Republican vote on the next stimulus package and stimulus check by next week. However, others are much less optimistic that Republicans will even be able to pull through and pass something next week. Also, there's only one thing more depressing than the phone call between Nancy Pelosi and Mark Meadows that we heard about yesterday. And that's imagining Nancy Pelosi calling Mark Meadows in a few years going, "Hello, it's me," and wondering if after all these years you'd like to meet, to go over everything. Hey, they say time's supposed to heal ya, and after all, I must have called about 1,000 times. On commuting, the average American used to spend 54.2 minutes driving per day. However, when the pandemic hit, research shows that Americans have collectively saved $91 billion in commuting costs for things like gas and vehicle maintenance. This works out to $2,000 in savings for an average commuter. That means by doing nothing, we ended up saving more money than Congress was able to get to most of us. Thanks for nothing, Congress. Additionally, Elon Musk is showing off progress on his Neuralink. I will link that live stream down below. It's pretty fascinating, and rumor has it you can hook up this neural implant to senators and representatives in Congress, and you would find no brain activity. In other news, Congressman Banks introduced legislation to bar protesters convicted of a federal crime, quote, during the course of protests from receiving unemployment benefits. In the meantime, overall COVID cases are trending downwards. There is a lot of enthusiasm and euphoria around Abbott Labs' new $5 test. In fact, in honor of that, I have created a recovery stocks sort of list that you could take a look at. Just go to metkevin.com/recovery and you could see my favorite picks for recovery stocks that might do well or they'll go bankrupt. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I really appreciate you. And folks, we will see you next time. Check out the links down below for life insurance, 2 free stocks with Webull, and those courses. Thanks. Bye.